From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, no plea deal for one of the two men that the village of Tanana is seeking to banish after a double trooper murder.
61-year-old William Walsh appeared in Fairbanks District Court Tuesday for what should have been a change of plea hearing. However, Walsh chose not to take the deal presented to him by the district attorney's office. Now, that deal was the charges against Walsh would be dropped in exchange for community service hours. Walsh, who was charged with misdemeanor assault and violating felony probation, decided to take his case to trial instead. In August, Walsh filed a suit in federal court seeking relief for his, quote, illegal removal from his property by the village tribal council. Walsh is due to appear in court again in November.
A Fairbanks man convicted of multiple felony charges will serve time in jail. 37-year-old Michael Krallman pleaded guilty to 2 reduced charges of third-degree felony assault as part of a plea deal in Fairbanks Superior Court this afternoon. He will serve 8 months in jail and will be placed on probation for a period of 3 years following his incarceration. The charges stem from an incident in September 2013 when Krallman entered into a home where his wife was staying and threatened the occupants with a gun. He was originally faced with 5 felony charges, including first-degree burglary and weapons misconduct.
The Interior Gas Utility on Monday began the procurement process for nearly 80 miles of pipe slated to be installed in the North Pole area this spring during Phase 1 of Interior Energy Project. Now, the announcement is a major milestone for the municipally owned utility. An invitation to bid was released on October 20th, and bid submittals are due November 18th. The IGU project manager, David Prusak, says the pipe must be ordered by December of this year in order for installation work to begin this spring.
In order to have enough time to get the pipe here, because it is such a large quantity of pipe, this keeps us on track so that we're able to make sure that the pipe is here when the construction contracts are actually able to be awarded to contractors to get ready to put it into the ground. So,
taking a look at the November 4th general election now, with focus on state legislative races from local districts. Jamie Schwartzwald sat down with the 2 candidates seeking to represent District 1 in the Alaska House of Representatives.
Scott Kawasaki seeks his 5th term in the State House as the Democratic nominee, while political newcomer Greg Bringhurst earned the Republican nomination following the August primary. Both gave reasons why they joined this year's race.
My job's not yet done. Big things that need to happen, especially when it comes to the cost of energy, with improving public safety and improving our schools and education.
Well, I got into the race because I really saw a need for the community. I saw a lot of things in the community that need work in terms of our high cost of energy, providing jobs and education for Alaskans.
The 2 candidates spoke of their qualifications to represent District 1 in the State House.
I've worked with the Bush Caucus, the rural legislators. I worked with the Interior delegation, of course, and with Anchorage legislators to advocate for things that are important for Alaskans and important to Fairbanks. I have a public servant's heart, I believe.
Well, people already know my history about working hard in Fairbanks, but now they also know that I've got a record to run on of getting things done here in town. And again, if you live in any neighborhood in Fairbanks, in the city, in District 1, you've probably seen these major improvements.
Kawasaki's top priority if elected?
Well, I think we have to continue on with the efforts both with natural gas pipeline, with natural gas trucking and storage. A lot of piping has gone into the ground in the district that I represent now. It's just a matter of getting this gas to customers and getting those houses converted over.
One of Bringhurst's top priorities if elected.
And another big part of my priorities is downtown Fairbanks. I want to make downtown a vibrant place where business can thrive, like I said, and people want to live there. People want to recreate downtown and make Fairbanks, downtown Fairbanks, just a great place to be.
Jamie Schwartzwald reporting.
Okay, when we come back, preparing for disasters. Is your family ready? We have a look into how you can prep.
Also, unlike Anchorage, no problems with the military reported in the interior. Those stories are next. Stay with us. And welcome back. Emergency responders for the city of Fairbanks, the Fairbanks North Star Borough, and other surrounding communities spent the past 3 days training at the new Emergency Operations Center. Ryan Grimes had the opportunity to explore the center. He has this story.
The people here are busy at work, making themselves familiar with the Emergency Operations Center. Emergency and crisis operators from Fairbanks, North Pole, and many other surrounding areas are working together to tackle any number of dangerous occurrences that could happen in the interior.
They've talked about earthquake, they've talked about weather emergency, technological hazards.
The center is located inside the Steve's Firehouse No. 1 in Fairbanks. The busy bustling and constant chatter inside the room today was due to testing for one major crisis that could put thousands out of a home.
What they're doing is taking a wildland fire that escapes containment and threatens basically half of the Fairbanks borough. 1,100 homes are threatened in this case. Now the governor's declared a disaster in simulation, and they're practicing those processes.
Fairbanks North Star Borough Emergency Manager Craig Malloy says that there is an additional twist to the simulation.
The director of emergency operations for the Fairbanks North Star Borough, along with 2 assembly members, was doing an administrative flyover. That helicopter flight they were on had gone missing, and we are in the process of trying to find them right now. So it's a good practice to inject into the exercise.
The Emergency Operations Center is run primarily by the borough, but city employees like Deputy Chief Eric Jukes with the Fairbanks Police Department are also participating in training.
And so that's just my main component is how would law enforcement integrate into a large-scale borough or area-wide disaster.
So all of this begs the main question. If a major emergency situation broke out, are they ready to take it on?
Well, you know what, in all honesty, this group of people was ready to go before this exercise. And this training is making us more efficient, faster, stronger, smarter at what we're doing.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting.
Officials with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District say they have no plans to remove military recruiters from schools in the interior. It was revealed yesterday that schools in Anchorage had reports of sexual misconduct by National Guard recruiters and that the schools there would at least temporarily ban them. Superintendent Dr. Karen Gaborik said she and the acting city police chief sat down and found no instances of misconduct in the district. Further, Gaborik said both the National Guard and active duty military members are active in the schools and go through intense background screenings before they can interact with the students.
High schools counselors, usually the counseling department in cooperation with principals, meet with the recruiters at the beginning of each year. Again, all of our post-secondary recruiters set up dates and times, specific times where folks come into the schools. Often it's at lunch, because that's when students have time to talk with people. They log all that, they give those reports to us at the end of the school year, so it's fairly regulated process. And at any point at the application process or at any point during the school year, if there's a concern, we can bring people in and address that concern and either allow them to continue with, perhaps more restrictions or, just say it's not appropriate for you to be here.
School policy also mandates that schools in the district give the same privileges to military recruiters that they do post-secondary schools. School officials say many programs are supported by the military and have been successful for years.
In the midst of investigations of problems with the Alaska National Guard, Governor Parnell met with Guard members to answer their questions. Monty Bowen has details now in this week's Military Report.
The governor addressed the 350 members of the Alaska National Guard, saying members did not deserve the treatment that some have received.
You deserve to have health and respect and honor among the people you serve with as much as you deserve to be honored for everything you do.
Some Guard leaders have been replaced, but during questioning, Parnell was told there are still some in the system that don't follow the rules.
Do you have any plan to stop the mistreatment and the bad things that still happen in the Guard for people that you left behind?
Yes, and if there's one thing I've learned that I didn't fully appreciate before, I didn't fully appreciate how long it takes to get rid of a bad actor. And I'll just tell you that. And yet at the same time, I don't want to paint everybody who may be leaving with that moniker. That is not accurate, and it's certainly not deserved by some people who have served our country honorably.
The governor said things that are not visible to everyone are being done to fix the system.
Just because you don't see something happening right now doesn't mean it isn't happening.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
The This is a change, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm here, guys.
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
He's real. He's real.
You're real.
I'm really here.
Okay.
I'm excited, and I'm excited. You know why?
Why?
Because tonight we announced the Conference Players of the Year for football in the Greatland and Southeastern Conference. Also, we'll be able to do something this weekend that you weren't able to do last season, and it deals with the UAF men's basketball team. So stay with us.
Is that right?
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here, bringing you some sports this Wednesday evening. The official start of the 2014-2015 season for the Alaska men's basketball team is a little more than 3 weeks away, but you can see the team in action this Saturday. The men's squad will hold an inter-squad scrimmage that's free and open to the public this Saturday at 2 p.m. in the Patty Center. Senior guards Joe Slocum and Anthony Reese were named team captains this week. Slocum was a unanimous pick for the GNAC preseason team. UAA's Travis Thompson is the preseason player of the year, while Hutchinson product Kevin Ryma was also a unanimous GNAC preseason team pick. But before the Nooks get a chance to compete with the Rymas and Thompsons of the world, there are a lot of new faces on the team, 12 new players, and they'll get a chance to experience a game-like atmosphere at the Patty and start to form that on-court chemistry.
I think it's definitely going to be really important. First scrimmage of the year, kind of with the refs. Everyone's really getting adjusted to everyone pretty well, kind of learning each other's tendencies and kind of building some chemistry to get ready for season.
We've been battling each other in different drills, and then we'll finally get to play 5-on-5 with refs and not have coach ref, see how that goes.
Starting to see some separation, and that's what the scrimmage is for too. You're trying to get some separation and maybe see who the starters are, who the bench guys are going to be, and where the minutes are going to come, because we do have a lot of competition with minutes.
The Fairbanks Ice Dogs will wrap up their 5-game road trip this weekend. After sweeping the Cooley Region Shield 3-0, the Ice Dogs traveled to take on the Wenatchee Wild. Now, the last time Fairbanks visited the Town Toyota Center, the Ice Dogs ended the Wild season with the game-winning overtime goal in Game 5 of the Midwest Division Finals. The Wild are in the 8-team South Division this year, the largest division in the league. Wenatchee is 3-5-2 on the year, and they stopped their 3-game skid with a 4-3 overtime win over Rio Grande recently. Jake Algren, a returner, leads the Wild with 8 points. Fairbanks is packing a punch offensively with Chandler Maudry and Jacob Hetz. They are tied for first and second for most points in the NHL. Maudry at 18 and Hetz at 17. The Ice Dogs have won 3 in a row in 4 of their last 5 and lead the Midwest Division by a point. After this weekend, the Dogs will be back in the Big Dipper for a nice 9-game homestand. With the high school football season over for interior teams, the conference awards have come out. In the Greatland Conference, senior running back Anthony Griffith was named Offensive Player of the Year for the small school state champion Allison Ravens. The senior ran for 2,268 rush yards and 32 touchdowns in his final season as a Raven. In 3 years, Griffith has 5,627 rush yards and 85 touchdowns. What a career. 3 offensive linemen opening holes for Griffith and Caleb Dunlap there were all Greatland picks. Senior Ryan Crooks at tackle and junior Austin Edson at guard were first teamers. Sophomore center Chris Kilpatrick was all second team for Allison. Junior running back and outside linebacker Caleb Dunlap was first team on offense and defense. Griffith and little brother Antonio Griffith were first team defensive backs as well. 6 Monroe Rams were all conference, including first team tailback Caleb Thomas, first team outside linebacker Connor O'Kelly. Kiski's Luke Johnson was named Defensive Player of the Year, and Seward head coach Kelly Sinareski was named Coach of the Year. For the full list of conference players, visit the sports page on Webster11.com. In the Southeast Conference champion North Pole Patriots won a slew of all SEC recognitions. Senior running back DeAndre Campbell was named Offensive Player of the Year for North Pole. Campbell ran for 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns, plus had punt, kick returns for TDs in his senior campaign. Andrew Risner was named Lineman of the Year for North Pole as well. Joining Risner and Campbell on the first team offense is quarterback Dew Rogers, running back Simi Skips, center Sean Pruitt, and wide receivers Garrett Woolman and Shane Hirsch. North Pole's assistant head coach John Rogers was named Co-Coach of the Year. He shares the award with Ketchikan's Joe Hicks. On first team defense, senior inside linebacker Nick Rice was a selection for the Pats. Joining Rice is senior outside linebacker Trent Noyukapuk, senior defensive tackle Kyle Fuller, and defensive backs Cameron Ide and another senior, and junior Curtis McNeil. For the full list of the all-SEC team, visit the sports page on Webster11.com. And in high school volleyball, one team ends their losing streak. The Allison Ravens sweep the North Pole Patriots 25-19, 25-22, 25-16 on Tuesday night. The win is a 3-match losing streak for the Ravens. It's their first regular season win since September 29th. Allison was coming off a second-place performance in the Delta Invitational this past weekend. Paige Shimura and Britt Fisher both had 7 kills for North Pole, who are now 3-5. With the win, Allison is 2-9 on the year. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as I will be joined by some special guests. Your full weather forecast, though, is coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, welcome back. And now while Mike is gone, I guess I'm going to try and step in and do some weather.
Well, I'm going to try it tonight.
You want to try it? Okay. I don't know about that. Okay, well, let's take a look at the Fairbanks Almanac right now. Current conditions up on your screen. Today's high 38 degrees, low 36. Record high 61 degrees set in 1938. The record low of 15 below was set in 1965. Sunrise this morning at 8:55 a.m. The sunset 6:18 p.m. 9 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. A loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. Okay, let's take a look at the Alaska satellite. Not very much action going on, but however, it is still a little bit rainy over there in the southeast, and the southwest will also be seeing some action in rain and snow. You'll see that a little bit later on in the forecast, but Fairbanks seems to be just a little bit of clouds. Not too bad. All right, let's take a look at Alaska weather current conditions again. Up in Barrow, 16 degrees, pretty chilly there. Fort Yukon, 21 degrees. Fairbanks, mostly cloudy skies today with 29 degrees, and as I was just seeing on the radar, 45 and 47 in Juneau and Ketchikan with rain showers. Taking a look over at the southwest, Cold Bay, cloudy skies, but Bethel looking pretty bright and shiny there, 29 degrees. And then the Anchorage Bowl, that is the place to be. You'll see later, like I said, sun is shining there all throughout today and tomorrow. Okay, let's go on down to the lower 48. Same thing as yesterday. Seattle just can't get away from that rain, 57 degrees. It looks like San Francisco, Las Vegas, and Phoenix, they're just really shiny and bright down there, 84 degrees. Minneapolis, mostly cloudy skies, 60 degrees. And over there in Miami, it looks like it has gone from the showers and storms to just rain, all right, and up in New York, rain showers there as well, 59 degrees. Okay, let's look at the satellite. You can see there is quite a storm line moving there along the middle part of the country. Glad I'm not there. Let's continue on with that. Looks like a low pressure system is up in the southwest. Low temperatures with wet conditions, and it's going to be record heat over there in the south central region. Very warm. Nice temperatures over in the southeast and windy conditions over by New York. All right. Continuing back to Alaska, where it matters for tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies in Fort Yukon, freezing drizzle in Barrow, snow in Nome, temperatures 35 degrees in Nome, 24 in Barrow, and in the teens in Fort Yukon. All right, taking a look at the interior, mostly cloudy across the region, pretty simple. Temperatures in the mid-20s. Okay, over to the southeast. Showers across the region into tomorrow for them as well, 49 degrees in Juneau, 53 in Ketchikan. Over to the southwest. Rain in Cold Bay and Bethel, clear skies in Kodiak. Okay, continuing on to the south central. Sunny for Anchorage and Homer, mostly sunny for Valdez, and temperatures in Anchorage 36, 37 in Valdez, and Homer a nice warm 41 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at our kids weather watch. Mike's gone, so the kids aren't here, but we do have a weather fact for you. And it's Alaska. In 1987, Yakutat beat the rain records of 190 inches. That's a lot of rain. Okay, thank you to Mount McKinley Bank. And all this week and next, we'll continue to share the interesting weather facts with you. Okay, let's take a look at tonight's temperature. 18 degrees, mostly cloudy skies and cool temperatures. All right, tomorrow, 25 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. And let's take a look at the extended forecast, if we can get it up here for you. Okay, there it is. Friday, Saturday, Sunday looks like pretty simple, nice 30s, 20s, not too cold. But overnight, it is, like I said yesterday, going to drop into the teens. So it's going to be a little chilly, but not too bad.
A couple of flurries there?
Yeah, little flurries
maybe
here and
some
there.
flurries, maybe.
But nothing scary.
Nothing
scary weather-like. But if you like being scared, then you have a chance to get a free trip to the Fairbanks Asylum Haunted House.
Go to the KTVF Facebook page and like the Fairbanks Asylum post. You may be randomly selected to win a pair of tickets.
Joe, you and me should go there.
We went once.
We did.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I will not be participating in those activities.
You don't want to ghost hunt with me tomorrow night?
Well, the Ice Dogs, I think they're going to be in action on Halloween night.
Oh, okay.
I believe,
Yeah.
off the top of my
Very
head.
good.
So
Nice.
I think that's where I'll be.
Sounds good. All right, that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
All right, tonight on NBC Nightly News, chaos in Canada's capital as a gunman kills a soldier before being killed himself. Stay tuned. That's next with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night. We'll see you back at 11.